local or foreign, we are open to business. That's Ugandan perspective. Tanzania has said no, we do not want small shop owners to be owned by foreigners. Okay, we understand. But tell me, why is it that French capitalist group like Carrefour can come to Tanzania, open Carrefour, being ruled and governed by a Frenchman, when the same like an Ugandan cannot come and do the same thing? Right? Why is it that international companies that are backed up by international banks, you allow them to set business on their own terms, obviously respecting the rule of the country, but they can open those business, but the Ugandan and the Kenyan won't be able to do so, right? Because they bring capital from within the region. So this is not considered the same. It is a form of economic xenophobia. It is a form of economic xenophobia. It is a way to say that Tanzanians' issue is also the traders from Kenya. It's also the traders from Uganda. But for whoever have traveled this continent, he will understand that trade is always, everywhere you go, trade is made by a mix of local actors and foreign actors.
Free your mind now. Be part of the People's Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.
The Pan-African Pyramid Weekly Round Table with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe, and my long-time comrade, Thomas Lesaffre Mutatina. Mutatina, welcome back from a very long break.
Very long break. But Uganda still recognize me. I was in Acacia Mall not further from 2 days ago. Then 3 people stopped me and said, "Hey, are you the guy on NBS? I saw you on NBS. Well done." I was like, okay.
The Pan-African Pyramid.
So you know what you do when they see you in the Pan-African Pyramid, when they see you at MBS, when they see the weekly roundup, you know, they identify. They ask, "Hey, how are you doing?" And everything.
The speaker.
So we haven't been together because
they gave you my money you didn't bring.
Can
we just say hi and they don't? Ugandans are good people.
Ugandans are good people like this. They come and they give you money.
Hey,
there's not the same Ugandans we have met. We have not met the same Ugandans.
They didn't tip you.
No, not yet. But I think we understand that it's all about education, you know. So what we give them also, I think it produces effects. It's like a seed that become a tree, you know.
Okay, now this week we want to talk about 2 things. One is when you were away in South Africa on a Pan-African assignment, we discussed here about Tanzania.
Correct.
But since you are back, I want to hear your views. Tanzania recently passed a law and chased all other non-Tanzanians from a certain set of businesses. Yeah. They are not supposed to carry out certain business in Tanzania. But remember, this is East African community. So a Ugandan is not supposed to do a same business like a Tanzanian is doing in Tanzania. But a Tanzanian in Uganda is doing even more than a Ugandan is doing. And other East African community members. You have seen here, you have seen you in Kisasi. Very many new shops are opening up owned by South Sudanese. Now you see Arabic words on the shops.
Yes.
We have been here in Sauna. Nowadays, our biggest friends were in Sauna with South Sudanese and Sudanese. So they are at large. They are doing businesses here. But Ugandans and other people are not allowed to do the same business in Tanzania. Yet Tanzanians are in the East African community doing every other business.
Correct.
Would that not be undermining the East African spirit? I will begin by asking you.
It seems to me that it definitely goes against, and I'm not the only one saying it, it goes against East African community treaties, right? Which allocates free circulation of goods and services and people within the communal space, within East Africa. But I think what's fundamental here is that we don't say that Tanzania cannot take the decision that they want to take. They want to take decisions. They take decisions, right? We respect the decision that the Tanzanians are taking for themselves. However, there has been treaty. Government have signed treaties, right? And when you do such a move, an unexpected move, you also have to communicate with your neighbors the why and the how. If you have issue with your neighbors' traders, you have to have a conversation with them. Look at what happened in the 70s between Nigeria and Ghana. There were a lot of Ghanaians that had shop in Nigeria, right? Because at some point, Nigerians governments in the 90s decided like, later on, decided that he went to chase all the Ghanaians. He went to chase all the Ghanaians. But guess what happened in Rumba? They chased the Ghanaians. That even created the infamous bag called Ghana Must Go. Ghana Must Go was like that bag, right? That big bag. So Ghanaians left the country. They arrived in Ghana to reopen the same shop. Guess who had the shops? It was Nigerians. Nigerians had the very same shop in Ghana that Ghanaians had in Nigeria. So now the government of Ghana decided to kick out the Nigerians back to Nigeria. Everyone finds himself in his own country. But this is not trade, Irumba. It's not how trade works. Trade works because you are capable of bringing some goods and services made by someone from far, right? Whatever China, whatever Tanzania or Kenya, it is the same. It is the same model. When an Ugandan is in Kenya, he has better chance to trade than a Kenyan himself because he can bring product and production from Uganda. This is just how trade functions. So now we have seen that two East African countries doing two different models. In one end, we say we are open to every business people, whatever small, whatever big, and whatever local or foreign. We are open to business. That's Ugandan perspective. Tanzania has said no. We do not want small shop owners to be owned by foreigners. Okay, we understand. But tell me, why is it that French capitalist group like Carrefour can come to Tanzania, open Carrefour, being ruled and governed by a Frenchman, when the same like an Ugandan cannot come and do the same thing, right? Why is it that international companies that are backed up by international banks, you allow them to set business on their own terms, obviously respecting the rule of the country, but they can open those business, but the Ugandan and the Kenyan won't be able to do so, right? Because they bring capital from within the region. So it is not considered the same. It is a form of economic xenophobia. It is a form of economic xenophobia. It is a way to say that Tanzanians' issue is also the traders from Kenya. It's also the traders from Uganda. But for whoever have traveled this continent, he will understand that trade is always, everywhere you go, trade is made by a mix of local actors and foreign actors. Right? All the time. In Dakar, all the shops you're going to go in Rumba, they are owned by Guineans. In Guinea, the shops are owned by Senegalese. In Gabon, the shops are owned by Senegalese. But in Senegal itself, the shops are owned also by other people. Why? Because this is how trade functions, right? So by trying to break this, it is the same argument that they use. They use the same argument that Idi Amin used against the Indians, saying, no, you own capital, you don't respect the law of the country, we kick you out. It is not fair, it is not correct, right? And I do think, like, as Pan-African, we also should stand firm and say to every traders that have been kicked out of Tanzania right now for their business, that they should come to Kenya, they should come to Uganda, they should come to South Sudan, to Somalia, to all the East African partners, because those partners will respect the law that they have signed.
So let's look at the reality. Ugandans here are complaining that Chinese are taking over the smallest of jobs. It means that the Ugandans also are seeing that that is a problem to the nationals. So maybe Tanzanians, after listening to their people, they have decided to act. Maybe Uganda will also need to do the same. I have been in the areas of, I think you know that you know Kansanga side.
Kansanga, yeah.
Kansanga, you know. When you go there, most of the businesses are being run by Europeans.
Correct, yeah.
When you listen to the locals speaking, you feel there is a sense of resentment.
Okay.
Even the renting houses
has become
for accommodation, the Europeans hiked the prices.
Correct.
That if a Ugandan was renting a house at 200,000 and a Egyptian comes and says, I'm going to give you 500,000 and I'm going to pay you for a year.
Yeah.
So the landlord finds ways of ensuring that he chases the Ugandan.
This is very correct.
Tenant. So maybe
I want to say something about that because it also happened to me. I don't know if it's because I become Mutatina, then now But it happened to me that I was trying to get a flat, right? In order to, when I settled like a year ago. trying to get a flat. I'm visiting different flats. You know how it works. You get brokers. You have to go quick and fast, right? Now I found that flat that is really great. I want to take it. And the owner said, no, come tomorrow. I'm going to be there. We make the deal, right? So I prepare my money. I'm smart. I prepare some cash, some beautiful cash, so I can give the guys 3 months of rent. So he takes my rent. Ne? I arrive in the flat. There is Sudanese there. And now they telling me, the owners tell me, listen, those Sudanese are paying 1 year rent. They come, they pay 1 year rent. Can you match? And I said, no, I cannot pay 1 year of my rent. I'm not that rich. I don't have the capacity right now to say, no, in 1 year, I don't know if I will have a contract, a visa, No, I can't. I want to pay monthly. But he said, no, okay. He took the money of those guys. He took the money of those guys, and then I had to find another flat, right? So I found another flat, and then similar story happened. And I understood that the neighborhood were getting full of Sudanese that flee the war, right? And of course we want to support that. Of course we're not saying that Uganda should not be open. But what is the problem, Irumba? Is the problem the Sudanese that come from Sudan, that have sold everything, and that decide to put all the money together so he can secure 1 year of rent somewhere for him and his family, and he knows he has 1 year in front of him to settle in this country, to try to do something. Is this the problem? Or is the problem the fact that the law is not respected? Because the law says you have to pay your rent every month, or every 3 months, or every year, I don't know, but the law says something. And so when you have someone that come and say, I can pay you let me, if I come here and I said, no, listen, Irumba, here's 1 million Ugandan shilling. Let me tell all the bad thing about Uganda. And I come and I say anti-Ugandan propaganda. You're not going to accept the money. There's law, there's rules in place, right? So the fact that those people can come and change the rules is the real problem. The real problem is how do we implement the rules so they are fair for everyone, whatever you Sudanese, whatever you Ugandan, whatever you Kenyan, right? And when we have these fair rules, when the institutions are respected, then it's benefit everyone. Because a small shop opened by a Sudanese in Kisasi or Eritrean in Kasangana, they pay taxes. They employ locals. They pay taxes. So at the end of the day, it's beneficial in different directions, right? When the law is implemented. And so I believe this is one of the key questions. How do we make sure that the law is implemented the same way for Ugandan traders, Chinese traders, or Sudanese traders? And then now they can compete each other on fair ground, and they won't be Chinese winning versus Ugandans. No, they will know the markets. They will be making cash.
Okay. The other issue I wanted to ask you is about there was an attack by Israel.
Another one.
I
think it's the sixth one.
You have used the right word, another one.
Another one. I feel like all the time I come in this show, there's a new attack, a new country. You know what the interesting part is? So let's try to make the list of who Israel have attacked, which countries they have attacked last year, without having the International Court of Justice looking at them or the UN banning them. Nothing. Imagine Uganda doing that. We already in the dark side of the history. But for those guys, nothing happened. They attack Palestine, of course. Then they attack Lebanon, right? Then they attack Syria. They took Golan, they took entire part of Syria. No one has said anything. They just literally sit in Syria right now. Everyone's cool about that. They destroy all the plains of Syria. Then they attack Iran, right? Then they attack Yemen. And now they think maybe 5 is not enough. They want to go on 6. They attack who? Qatar. They attack Qatar.
Doha.
I repeat, they bomb Doha. The very same Doha that is hosting negotiation peace talk since 10 years at least. 10 years at least. And when they attack Doha, first they don't tell them. Secondly, they tell Americans, but they don't tell them. The very same Americans that have received an entire plane for Donald Trump, entire plane, a full-on plane, the biggest plane in the presidential plane in the world, Qatar offered it to Donald Trump for them to actually don't let them know when Israel attack. So it shows also the hypocrisy. America America, France, UK, Germany, they all want Qatar money. Qatar has PSG, for instance. They own PSG. They have a lot of investment everywhere. But then when Israel attack, everyone stay quiet. So not only Qatar can be really mad at his allies, But also we should look at who Israel has targeted. Israel has targeted peace negotiators. Peace negotiator. I repeat, Israel is not only killing journalists that can report to you what is happening. Israel is not only using the dual missile system to kill journalists, because that's what they do all day. They send a missile, and then they send text to all the journalists around. So all the journalists goes there to film what has happened. They send a second missile, they kill all the journalists. Like they do those type of tactics. Now they kill peace negotiators in the medium of something that was seen as a successful peace negotiations. So if you have a country that killed peace negotiators, what does it tell you, Rumba? Does it tell you that country want to make peace? Israel have no interest into making peace. The only way to stop them is to block them military. I don't know even how to do it, to be honest, but I think Hamas have done it, in his own way, because they're still in Gaza, and successfully so. But the freedom, the fact that Israel give no care about all those countries, all those allies, all the life of those people tells you a lot. For a country busy organizing a genocide, they still have a lot of power to go and strike other people. They keep complaining about Yemenis striking at them, but then they allow missile to be sent to Qatar, one of the people that is supposed to be an ally in the regions. So it is quite clear that Netanyahu has reached a stage of suicidal politics. Like he's going to do the worst as he can, then he will resign, he will leave power or something like that.
What is annoying me, Comrade Lesaffre, the double standards of America.
Huge.
Now, America has been using Qatar, UAE, as an ally in the conflict resolution of DRC. America is using UAE in the conflict of Libya. And you see, on the award ceremony the other Saturday, I spoke to there are some two ambassadors who had reservations of Pan-African Pyramid inviting the Libyans in Gaza. And they were saying, no, you see, you have invited the wrong people. These are not legitimate Libyans. The legitimate Libyans are the ones in Tripoli. That's what they
not
say.
In
Tripoli. So the Americans have divided Libya into two. The same Americans who have divided Libya into two are the ones legitimizing one group and illegitimizing the other.
Divide and rule.
But then, after illegitimizing the other one of Gaza, they don't leave them alone. You know what they did?
No.
They got Qatar, UAE.
Yes.
They said, now let us divide ourselves.
Yes.
Let me, America, support Tripoli.
Correct.
And show the world that these are legitimate leaders. Now, Gaza should be illegitimate, but UAE, with whom I'm working underground, you go and support them.
You see, and then they go on the next country.
America,
Sudan.
America is supporting the Benghazi regime through UAE.
Yes.
But here in the picture they show you, they don't recognize them.
Yes.
They recognize Tripoli.
Yes.
Why are they doing so? They want both factions to remain powerful.
Yeah.
So that you continue fighting.
Yes.
So that they continue taking your resources.
And you buy in exchange of the weapons they do.
If this Tripoli becomes stubborn to America, they strengthen the other one.
Yeah.
Then they start even taking some of your territories.
Yes.
They arm the other man.
Yes.
The other general.
Yes.
General, is it Haftar?
After.
Hey. Now,
Haftar.
they use them as negotiation chips. So when these two ambassadors at Fairway took me aside and tried to tell me this, that you have
send the wrong Libyans.
You have invited the wrong group. Even they refused to sit with them.
Eh.
Yes. I told them, look guys,
You guys are some.
Look, guys, we are Pan-Africanists.
Yes.
I am not going to recognize Tripoli because America has recognized him.
Exactly.
I am not going to refuse to recognize Benghazi because America has refused to recognize him.
Correct.
Actually, my enemy is America, not these two.
True.
But you, two ambassadors, you have fallen into America's propaganda. America, after dividing Libya into two, they are telling you who is legitimate, who is not legitimate. But America is supporting both of them.
Yes.
America supporting. So I told them, me as a leader of this Pan-African organization, all these two are my brothers.
Okay.
People living in Benghazi are my brothers. People living in Tripoli are my brothers. I talk to them equally.
And they're both victims of Americans.
All of them are victims of America's stupidity. So even you, you have fallen. Actually, you are playing in the game of America.
Correct.
By refusing to talk to your brothers in Benghazi and recognizing those in Tripoli.
Correct.
Who recognized them? Who told you that these are legitimate, these are illegitimate? All these are children of Libya. For you are saying these are illegitimate, where do they belong?
And they
are they not Libyans?
Children of Libya are sick of this division.
So, instead of telling America, no, you are the problem, these two Libyans are not the problem, you are the problem. These ambassadors, they were timid. They even refused to sit with them.
Okay.
Hey,
that's why they were sitting at two tables.
Yes. And I understood them. I didn't want to argue since it was my function.
Yes.
I left everybody to be at peace with whatever they said. But me, I refused to follow what America is telling the world. Now, same applies. America is supporting Israel to come and bomb Doha. You get it? The entire Arab world is being used by America to settle some scores.
Yes.
They are dividing the world. Where America is, they say, now for you, go the other side, but we support you underground. That's why they are here in Congo. So it baffles me to see that now America can support Israel to come and bomb Doha.
And with an American missile, that bomb a country that buy American missile itself. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Because the American Israeli industry, weapons industry, is based on American technology. They can't develop all of this like in the small desert like that. No, it's based on American technology. So they use American technology to bomb an American ally that is supposed to be an ally. But we can see there's always two levels. There's first league and second league. Clearly, when you are white liberals and historically like Europeans, you are playing first league for those countries. And when you're not white like me, and maybe you're Arab, you're black, you're Asian, you're Chinese, I don't know, then they start to play like this. So what also they recognize is like, we need to recognize that between what they say and what they do, we need always to look at what they do. Which never to what they say.
What they say.
No, because what they say is propaganda, which need to be, I think we have understood that here. In the rest of the world, maybe they're confused, but in Africa, we know that Americans will bring the propaganda line, right? Which is also why I have argued, by the way, that us getting detainee from the US, 6 or 8 or 10, is not so bad, comparing to the cost of having to fight the US on a propaganda machine, because the US can really disorganize Uganda if they want. If they want to disorganize Uganda, they can just wait for the next election and recognize another candidate as the legitimate winners. Let's say Museveni win, they recognize Bobby Wine, and then they destabilize the whole country. So we prefer to be a little bit in bed with them, a little bit, not like what Ruto is doing, sending his own children like to die in IT.
No,
that's crazy. But a little bit, 6 or 8 or 10 detainee, so they don't disorganize and dispatch us.
I think Ruto is just too money-minded. Being a hustler, he grew up a very poor boy. Now he has gotten someone to give him money. So
no, but I don't buy. I'm sorry. I like this poor boy story, but like Nyerere was not rich. Kenneth Kaunda was not rich. Thomas Sankara, where was Thomas Sankara rich? Museveni himself, yes. So I don't know like about those poor boys that become greedy, and we should be okay with that. No, when you're greedy, you're greedy. When you are greedy, you are greedy. You see what happened with the vice president, right? What's his name again? Gachagua.
Gachagua.
Gachagua told us, after he got fired by Ruto, he told us, listen, Emeti came to Kenya. I invited Emeti myself to come to Nairobi. But guess what? I never saw Emeti. Emeti was busy with Ruto for his whole trip. I was just pretending he's coming to see me. But the truth, he was coming to see Ruto because Ruto was already president. Emeti was not president, right? So he passed his time. And you know what they talk about? Do you think they talk about the peace? Do you think they talk about the situation in South Sudan and how it can be helped? Or Sudan, do you think they talk about regional dynamics? They talk about how to get the 90 billions of Sudanese gold outside by Kenya rather than getting out by Port Sudan like it traditionally goes. So you have me, those poor boys. Seriously, yeah. Seriously, I'm not. I grew up as a middle class. Okay, I don't know about poverty myself. It's not my thing. But I've met really bright and no, I don't have a record of that. And I'm proud of that. My parents work really hard for this to happen. I will work really hard to make sure also it happened to my kids. But there is one thing. Like pretending because you're poor or because you grew up poor, then you are uneducated, then you have no moral value, then you're greedy. It is not true. It is not true. It is not true. Yes, when there's maybe a larger numbers of people that's hustling Ruto project, I don't know. But getting back to Uganda, as you were saying, just to conclude, Uganda choose a path, and I think we should all be aware of this path. The path is to be open to any people or any capital that can come to invest, right? Whatever you are Sudanese, whatever you are Chinese, whatever you are Americans, you can come to Uganda to invest if and only if you respect the law that Museveni and the NRM and Ugandans have put in place since 40 years. And I think that is the best way to don't fall into xenophobia and to also don't fall into naivety. Because we also don't want the situation where all the shops now are owned by one community like it used to be at colonial time. Colonial time, it was Indians owning all the shop. It's not normal, right? But we also don't want the situations where there is no business in the country and no possibility for business and growth.
You relate this to what's happening in South Africa.
Correct.
South Africa looks to be practicing some sort of xenophobia, black against black.
Yes.
You were there last time. Tell us what happened. How is the situation?
We spoke a bit about it, but it is one operation called Operation Dudula, and it comes at a point where South Africa has passed 30 years being governed by the freedom fighters that offered them its liberty, that fight for its freedom. And those freedom fighters have not yet found the economic solutions to raise black South African outside of poverty, right? And so slowly but surely they build the narrative that it is because it is against other black Africans that come here and take their jobs. So they didn't do a mistake. They didn't do a mistake, those politicians. The problem are the other black foreigners. That's the message. So they become the scapegoat. The black foreigners become the scapegoat of the failing of the South African elite to deliver its people economically. Right now, South Africa is economically sovereign, but that's the let's say 80% of the money that is produced by this country get captured by white people's hands. White people hands. Like, so all the time a black works, let's say he make $100, his work make $100, 80% of that goes to a white guy, right? And he kept 20%.
In South Africa?
In South Africa, black people work really hard. You often hear, hey, blacks, some people, they call them lazy or what. Black South African work really hard. If you wake up at 5 a.m. and you see who is in the street, in the township, those are black people that go to work. They all go to work every day, but they don't get richer. A lot of blacks get to work every day but never get richer. They never can build a house in the village. They never can buy a car that functions like. They always get stuck. Why? Because capital, and especially in South Africa, white capital, it needs cheap labor. So as long as you have cheap labor, they make profit. So as soon as South Africans make too much money, they bring international foreigners, black foreigners, that accept lower contracts. Right? So then they break the labor movement, they break the workers, and now the workers have to accept conditions that are unequal, right? So what we need to really look at in those conversations is who is taking the money that the country produces. Is it the middle class? Is it the poor? Is it families? Is it the government? Who is getting the money that the value of the country produces? And in Uganda, we have URA that function quite well, and when someone makes businesses, he has to pay tax, and that's why it's important. Because me, I don't care that is it a Sudanese or is it a Ugandan that sell me my Rolex or my African tea. What I care is that both of them pay tax to the state, so now the state can reorganize wealth according to what is good. What we need is to make sure that every single small shops here pays 20% of tax, so now the state can train the children and the kids of these traders to become, I don't know, managers tomorrow, or to build a bigger business or a bigger business. We want people to work according to law, and when the law is implemented, it is fair for everyone, and this is what the country
Comrade Lesaffre, you've been in South Africa. Can we say that non-South African blacks are in danger, and so they should leave South Africa as soon as yesterday? Can we say that they are an endangered species, non-South African blacks? So
no, listen. It always have been a tricky conversation between me and my friend that side, because they say, no, Thomas, you don't understand. We are xenophobic. South African are xenophobic, but the real question is why and where does it come from? And so me, I said that South Africans are not xenophobic, that their government is trying to transform them into xenophobic so they can avoid like looking at the reality of the situation, which is that the freedom fighters have betrayed them. That's a really terrible situation to look at. So you have two debates, but it seems to me that South Africa is and has always been a place that knows how to manage diversity of origin, diversity of faith, diversity of ethnicity, right? South Africans have had 400 years to learn how to live with each other. South Africans themselves, the one that you call South African today, are the Mozambican of yesterday, Zimbabwean of yesterday, Eswatini of yesterday. Those were all people that came in Johannesburg for the mine, in Kibele for the mine, in Cape Town for the businesses. So South Africa as a nation is already a melting pot of the whole region. Exactly like Uganda is, exactly like Kenya is, like African states usually are a melting pot of people. So I do think that people can live with each other. There's a lot of interracial, international like couples or family where one is Nigerian, the other one is South African, they build a family. But as long as there will be people being paid to fuel the idea that most of the problem of the people, which we recognize, people have problems, this is true. But the problems are coming from the fact that they live into capitalist era, not because of the foreigners. But as long as there will be people to be paid to claim that the foreigners are the issue, there will be a political debate and a political dialogue and a political fight to make sure like those ideas disappear. Those ideas have to disappear in South Africa, not foreign migrants. The idea that foreign migrants are the problem have to disappear, because it's self-hate, Irumba. Because when they look at me, they think I come with capital, they think I come with money, they tell me that. They don't like those Zimbabweans or those Mozambicans, but you it's okay. Why is it that me as a white foreigner is better than the black foreigners? This is because of racism that is being entrenched by 400 years of colonialism, you know? And so as long as we fuel that colonial mentality, that the black is the danger and the white is the solution, then yes, there will be problems. But
black is the danger, white is the solution.
That's what they
in
feel.
Africa.
Apartheid. That's apartheid messages. Apartheid message to black South African were clear. Look at what is happening in Africa, in Nigeria, in Uganda. Those black presidents, they're treating their people badly, so you should be lucky to have us. That's the message they said. Pete Botha and all that. They said, no, Africans cannot govern each other. That's what they say. But guess what? Today, Kenya, Egypt, South Africa, Angola, they all have much better GDP than South Africa used to have at the time of white governance, right? So they can't recognize the fact that black governance has been much more efficient as white governance. So in the mind of South Africa triggered nations due to racism and the sickness of racism, it is what's happening. It is what's happening. But I will have to cut here.
Okay, now, finally, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says officials have been sent to the US to prepare for trade talks aimed at rolling back Washington's new 30% tariffs on South African imports. The delegation will meet US officials lawmakers and business leaders in New York and Washington. Ramaphosa told the parliament that the talks will focus on South Africa's critical minerals, its key bargaining chip. Let me hear your views. Ramaphosa is trading his minerals as the key bargaining chip to America. I have gold, please. Reduce on your tariffs 30%. He is the one looking for a thief to go and present to him that we have gold here, we have minerals. Then tomorrow we are going to complain that America is plundering us. This is the South African president saying, we have this, please come.
The problem is what? He's right. He's right about the fact that you need to put the mineral in the balance. Okay, America want to tax 15% South African goods. Okay, good. But also us, we have things that America needs, right? So he's right to say we need to look at what type of mineral we send to the US and make a trade war around this. The problem is that war is going to be lost. I'm telling you right now, the war against South Africa and USA is going to be lost. Why? Because South Africa is too small. The war between Africa and the USA will be won by Africa. But as soon as we are fighting America with 53, 54 countries, what can we get? What can we get? There's a line, 53 presidents, and there's only one listening. What can we get? We can't get anything. We have to negotiate our minerals as a continent. I have been saying many times on TV, and I will repeat it again. African mineral should be put inside a sovereign African fund, okay? Exactly like Norway is doing with this petrol, right? Norwegian petrol goes to a fund. Norwegians don't touch that petrol. So African minerals, all of them that are not on the soil, that are under the soil, they should go into a mineral wealth fund that is going to be only one entry door to negotiate any minerals. Okay, so if America wants coltan, he has to ask that fund to send coltan, right? And if they don't want to pay the price, the mineral stay here. Right now what we do is that we are 3 or 4 countries, and America said, I want to buy coltan kilos for, let's say, $2. I want to, you say, no, it costs me $5. I know, but the South Sudanese are selling me for $2. Don't you want to get that contract? And then you sign the contract. You see what I mean? So we have to come and negotiate as one continent, negotiate those minerals. And I can tell you, as soon as we do that, capitalism as we know it today, it stops. As we know it today, it stops. Because you will see that a lot of money will suddenly come to the continent. Because this laptop, this smartphone, this camera, this mic cannot be done without African minerals. So the next revolutions of industry that Tesla and all those guys want cannot be done without African mineral. But right now we're selling them individually rather than collectively.
And very cheaply.
And when you go them collectively, you bargain the strengths of in the market, the balance to make it equal. Thank you so much. I know I have to go here.
Comrade Lesaffre Thomas, thank you so much for your time. It's been nice listening.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Free your mind now. Be part of the People's Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.